The cost of living has more than doubled, but opportunity hasn't.
If you live on your own, what do you do for work? Because 3 jobs apparently is not enough to pay.
Grocery prices in the States have reached the point of insanity.
Have you ever been hit by a car and refused to go to the hospital? Because I have.
The price for 1 pound of ground beef is now more than the federal minimum wage, guys.
Currently, I'm in bed with a migraine with this goofy little rice bag that I heat up in the microwave because heat helps the pain. Ran out of my migraine medication that I would normally take. It's called Ubrelvy and it's very expensive. It's like over $1,000 without insurance.
I need to know why LA is so fucking hard to rent right now.
People can't afford to rent. They're not family homes. We're talking about little granny flats.
Groceries are so expensive right now, you don't need a pantry. You need a time machine back to the Great Depression.
Imagine waking up every day feeling like you're running a race you can't win. Not because you're slow, not because you're lazy, but because the finish line keeps getting pushed further away. That's life in America right now. You walk into the grocery store and somehow spend $20 just to make a simple breakfast. You check your rent and it's gone up again, even though your paycheck hasn't. You look at your medical bill and wonder how getting sick became a financial emergency. Everything costs more. Groceries are up, rents are insane, healthcare prices look like phone numbers, and wages. They're stuck in neutral while the entire economy accelerates without you. For millions of Americans, it feels like the country has turned into a pay-to-survive system. A place where working full-time doesn't guarantee stability, where raising a family feels like a luxury, and where even the basics, food, shelter, health, are slipping out of reach. People are budgeting down to the last dollar. People are cutting meals, skipping doctors, and working 2 jobs just to stay afloat, not to get ahead, just to avoid falling behind. So today we're breaking down the truth. Why the richest country in the world has millions struggling with the cost of rent, groceries, healthcare, transportation, and daily survival. And why the American dream now feels like the American stress. If you've been feeling it too, you're not alone, and you're not imagining it. This is the new reality, and it's time we talk about it.
Groceries are so expensive right now, you don't need a pantry. You need a time machine back to the Great Depression. Listen, at this point, if you don't have what I call a Depression-era pantry, you are setting yourself up for failure. And I know some of y'all are like, what's that? I wasn't even alive back then. Don't worry, I got you. A Depression-era pantry is about survival with style. It's budget-friendly, non-perishable items that will ensure you never go hungry. Flour, cornmeal, rice, dried beans, oats, pasta, molasses, cocoa, peanut butter, canned fruits and vegetables, canned meat, lard, vinegar, salt, sugar, and spices. You know, this is all the stuff your grandmama could take and make 20 meals out of it and continue to feed the family over and over again. See, most Americans, y'all got really addicted to living high on the hog, like little mini Rockefellers, right? Eating fresh salmon on a Wednesday night, sipping cold brew like water. Let's keep it all the way a buck. See, you were never rich. You just had enough credit cards and cheap prices so you could pretend. And now, that runway is gone. So here's the irony for me. The same folks, right, that used to laugh at grandma's struggle meals are about to be Googling how to make biscuits from bacon grease and molasses. And honestly, it's not even shameful. For real, it's smart. Because the truth is, prices are not done climbing yet. We have not hit the peak. So either you build yourself a Depression-era pantry right now, or you're going to be out here paying $15 for a bag of rice like it's a luxury handbag. Because at the end of the day, y'all, survival is not about flexing. It's about preparing. And the most American thing you can do right now, learn how to make it work no matter what. That was just like they did back then.
So the grocery prices here in the States are just out of this world insane. It is so expensive just to shop, just to put food on your table. But some of the things that aren't talked about as much are the products you buy that are from other countries. For example, this lingonberry jelly. It's just jelly and it's from Sweden. We have Swedish night once a week here in my house, and This lingonberry jelly itself was $8, $7.99. And also, it was actually more expensive because here in the States, the $7.99 you see is not what you pay because the taxes are added on at the checkout. It's not included in the price in the sticker, which is another interesting, quirky thing about the United States that nowhere else seems to do. You know, everywhere else it seems that the number you pay is the number you see, which I'm partial to. It's not just these little lingonberry fellas here. I mean, I saw a jar of tahini last night. Isn't tahini just like sesame seeds that are just ground up into a sauce? That itself was another $7, and the jar was smaller than this. Cheese, which albeit is expensive everywhere, I think. I got manchego from Spain, and it was a small little brick, and it costs about $11. I know people like to say, well, just shop local and buy USA. Well, okay, that's cutting off literally the entire rest of the world of ingredients. I don't know if this is from tariffs because tariffs are on again, off again, so confusing. And I think the grocery stores actually are taking advantage of this. They also know that we don't know that it's tariffs, so they just raise the prices because we don't know. And the new prices are just baked in. This is just how it is. And they never seem to come back down. I, for one, have become a vegetarian, not from a moral choice or not wanting to eat animals, just straight out of economics. Let me know what you've been paying for grocery prices lately and where you're at in the world, because this is just getting ridiculous here in the States.
What's up, America? People don't have money to eat. And people have stopped eating at restaurants because it's too goddamn expensive. That's according to a great deal of economists that are saying people have stopped eating out at restaurants and are buying groceries at the grocery store and only eating at home now. Now, this information is well known and it's been in decline for quite some time, but now it looks like restaurants are starting to totally fall off because the customer base is dried up. The overall consensus is that people don't have any money and that restaurants cost too much. And because the lower amount of disposable income coupled with the higher cost, people are simply not eating out at restaurants, even fast food places. Nearly every restaurant in America is in decline one way or another. The funny thing is that restaurants are starting to close, yet profit margins for fast food companies still remain pretty high. Because even as customers start to dwindle, their costs are going up. So they don't want to lose a penny of fucking profit, even if you have to pay $4,000 for a fucking hamburger. Nope, because corporations are not going to see their profits stifled, not one penny. So you're going to pay higher and higher prices until there's 10 customers left that can pay $400 for a Happy Meal. So the price of food needs to come down, the value of the dollar needs to increase, and people need some more goddamn disposable income. That's actually really the crux in the center here. People need disposable income. This entire country is built around people having disposable income, and you want the rich to do everything. It's not gonna happen, fuckface. The middle class build this country and the middle class keep it going. So we better get some goddamn disposable income coming in or all your businesses are gonna be fucked.
Walk into any grocery store in America today, and the first thing you feel isn't the air conditioning, it's the sticker shock. A simple grocery run that used to cost $50 is now $90. Items that were once cheap, eggs, milk, bread, now feel like premium goods. And here's the wild part. Inflation slowed down, but prices never went back to where they were. Companies raised prices during the chaos and kept them high even after their costs went down. People are noticing their carts getting smaller while their bills keep getting bigger. Families are switching to the cheapest brands. Parents are skipping meals so their kids can eat. Millions are relying on food banks. Many of them working full-time. Grocery shopping used to be a routine. Now it feels like a monthly financial war. And this is just the beginning, because the cost of food is connected to everything. Transportation, labor, fuel, corporate pricing, and supply chains that never fully recovered. If basic groceries have become a burden, imagine what comes next.
If you live on your own, what do you do for work? Because 3 jobs apparently is not enough to pay rent anymore, anywhere in this country. And I have like really low standards. It has to be cat friendly. I don't have laundry in my unit right now, and I would love that. And I don't want to have bars on my window. Anything hitting those for under $15 a month, because I cannot find it. And a van or a tent is looking real nice about now.
You know why LA feels like it's pushing you out? Because in just over 10 years, the cost of living has more than doubled, but opportunity hasn't. In 2012, the median home here was $367,000. Now, $1.1 million. That's a mortgage jump from about $2,200 a month to over $6,000, while incomes only went up 40%. The rents have more than doubled too, up about 103%. And there's almost nothing available. Vacancy rates in LA are 4%. A healthy market is closer to 8%. We have half the breathing room of a balanced market, so prices keep climbing. And when people can't buy, they rent. When they can't rent, they leave, or they end up on the street. The big reason? We've made it incredibly hard to build enough homes. Right now, 74% of our residential land is zoned for single-family houses only, meaning you can't build duplexes, triplexes, or small apartment buildings in the majority of the city. So here's how we got to fix it. Number one, we have to upzone smartly. We need to let people build 4 to 6 unit buildings in flat, transit-friendly neighborhoods. We need to turn underused commercial land into housing. Think empty storefronts or half-empty parking lots, even empty skyscrapers. Speed up approvals. Cut permitting from 18 months to 60 days if the project meets the rules. Build faster on public land. We can use modular construction so homes go up in months, not years. And we need to stop the artificial delays and the loopholes that let people drag projects out from months into years. We need the political will to open this city up so it works for everyone. Because if LA only works for a shrinking slice of people at the very top, we're going to continue to lose what makes the city so special. A city where teachers, nurses, small business owners, and yes, the next generation of your own kids can't afford to live is a city in decline. But we can turn that around. We just have to choose a future where LA belongs to the many, not the few. Follow me for more on how we make LA livable for everyone.
There's a reason why there are so many homeless people in places like Blacktown right now. I've been knocking on real estate agents' doors and asking to see what their rental list looks like. Here's an example. We have 3 homes on a rental list. One of them's already taken. The other 2 are granny flats. They're $530 a week and $420 a week for 2-bedroom granny flats. One of them's a little bit older as well. So people can't afford to rent. They're not family homes. We're talking about little granny flats. Now, the real issue here is the last 4-bedroom house that they leased was $950 a week in Blacktown. People cannot afford this. Something can be done, something must be done, and we don't have people in Canberra that understand what needs to be done. I can fix this. I can fix this. If you live in McMahon, vote for me, Matthew Camanzulli, and we'll fix the housing crisis.
Authorised by Rob Stevenson, Level 7, 1 Hallwood Place, Parramatta.
So everything that you see here, we got today. Today I just got all the produce, and look at everything. We got some paper towel, celery, lettuce, carrot, cucumber, sweet potato, onion, garlic, peppers, 4 avocados, cilantro, limes, mangoes, zucchinis, 2 kilos of bananas, 1 kilo of tomato, and 60 eggs. And guess how much this was? This was delivered to my house, as I do every week, 729 pesos, which is around $35 US. Check it out. Best of all, it's all local produce.
If groceries are draining wallets, rent is straight up breaking people. Across America, rent has exploded to levels nobody saw coming. It doesn't matter if you're in a big city, a small town, or somewhere in between. Prices keep climbing, and paychecks can't keep up. A 1-bedroom apartment that used to cost $900, now it's $1,400 or more. 2 bedrooms? Forget it. Many families are paying more for rent than they used to pay for a mortgage. And what makes it worse is this. People aren't upgrading their lifestyle. They're not moving to luxury buildings or giant apartments. Most of them are living in the same old places, just paying hundreds more for it. Landlords are increasing prices every year because demand is sky high and supply is too low. Construction isn't keeping pace, Corporate buyers are snapping up homes and renting them for premium prices, and millions of Americans have no choice but to accept whatever rent number is slapped onto their lease. This is why so many people are being forced into smaller, cramped spaces, shared living arrangements, long commutes, unsafe neighborhoods, or moving back in with family and for a growing number of people. There's no place left to go. When rent jumps by $200 or $300 a month with no warning, it doesn't just hurt your budget. It flips your entire life upside down. This is the heart of the cost of living crisis. If you can't afford housing, you can't build anything. Not savings, not stability, not a future.
I need to know why LA is so fucking hard to rent right now. I make $200,000 to $250,000 a year. I work my ass off. I have a 798 credit score. I just put my name in for an apartment house for $4,000 and I got denied. I wrote a cover letter. I got her phone number. We chatted. I told her my boyfriend's handy. I make more than enough money and my credit score is phenomenal. Why? I need to know. If there is anybody that could tell me why I keep getting rejected by these places where I have more than enough money to rent, I don't get it. It's so frustrating and it like breaks my heart every single time. Every single time. I am literally almost started crying when I got the rejection email today. And I know that's so silly, but like, you know, I get excited. I start designing the house and it's so exciting and it's a new fresh start. I love, love, love moving. The 4 places that we have put our name in have not gotten. I'm so confused. I do not understand it.
Do not judge me. I did not know. I'm not trying to sound insensitive. I hope this does not come off as stupid. Reserve your judgment. I'm in a state of shock. Okay. So I'm writing my employee handbook for my spa. I've gotten to the employee benefits portion, which is very exciting for me. I'm attempting to make sure that what I put in the benefits aligns with employee work, rights. So I'm looking up labor laws. So in the video, they're saying, consult with their attorney if you have this, if you have that. They're talking to employees about their rights. They say ultimately visit the Department of Labor website. I can't even get my words out. They have on the website is a minimum wage, right? I don't know what the freaking minimum wage is. Every state is different. So in my handbook, I want to give people wages even if they're not at work. I want to be able to, if you need a mental health day, I would like for you to still categorize that as a mental health day. It's capped annually, so you can't abuse it, but you can still expect to get wages because I want to reward people for taking care of themselves. Anyway, so I'm looking what is legal, what is not legal, what can I say, so on and so forth. I go to the website, I look up the state list for minimum wage, and my jaw hit the ground. And you might say, Mariah, where have you been, girl? Well, for 16 years, I've been in the Air Force, okay? So I don't know. I really don't. I didn't know. Why is the minimum wage in Alabama, Georgia, and I'm pretty sure Wyoming, $5? $5. $5? So I went to Cheesecake Factory last night. The carrot cake, which is one of my favorite desserts, is $10. You mean to tell me to afford one piece of carrot cake from Cheesecake Factory, somebody has to work 2 hours of their lives? 2 hours of someone's life is barely worth the price of a piece of carrot cake? A slice, not even the whole cake, just a slice. Then I saw, the minimum wage across America is $7. $7. I think in some, Hawaii is 14, but it's expensive to live there. Washington's I don't know, it's higher. Vermont is higher. But these are more expensive areas, pockets of our society to live in. So that would make sense that once you look at the cost of living in comparison to the minimum wage, even if the minimum wage is $14, $16, it's still poverty line. But to know that this is on purpose is what's getting me. That's the part that really does it for me, because this is done on purpose. They want to make sure you can barely afford food. And because I said to myself, who survives off of this? And then I realized survival's not the point. The point is sub-survival. The point is we need you to be so dependent. You can't do shit. At least not in a place that you own for yourself. And then I thought, people have kids. People have parents that they might be supporting. They have lives, they have children, they have needs. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna make sure that we do better. But I am taken aback, so much so. This has disrupted like the last 20 minutes of my workday, of my productivity, because I literally cannot wrap my mind around whose job is that? Who is that for? Who is that for? Because it can't be an adult with responsibilities and debt from trying to go to college and better themselves. Could not possibly. What the hell is going on?
The price for 1 pound of ground beef is now more than the federal minimum wage, guys. How crazy is this? And like, how far are they going to let these grocery prices get before they realize that regular people can just not afford this crap? Like, right now, let's do a comparison. Let's use like a couple big chains at where I live. I'm on the West Coast. So we've got like Albertsons, we've got Vons, we've got Stater Brothers, which I think is kind of like a West Coast thing. All of those are about twice the price of an Aldi, a Walmart, a Winco, a Safeco, or a Heb, or like a Food for Less if you have that. So I will tell you that of all the places that I'm shopping right now, Aldi happens to be my favorite. And no, they don't have everything. And Aldi is like the great value brand at Walmart. That's all they have in the whole store is the Aldi brand. So there's not as much selection, but I like a lot of the stuff that they have there. So I did a price comparison out here. Stater Brothers, which is down the street from me, has amazing butcher department. The meat department is great. So I went and bought my weekly groceries there, $240. Next week, compared it, same level of groceries, $117 at Aldi. So it's completely insane. I think these big chains like Albertsons, Vons, Staters are going to have major financial problems in the future, because you can't keep charging people double for what they can literally get across the street and have people keep paying it. Yes, in wealthy neighborhoods, people are going to pay that. Yeah, you're still going to have them do fine in those areas. But for the majority of Americans, if they have any kind of a choice where they can drive up to a half an hour, they're not buying these crazy expensive grocery store brands anymore. Let me know, like, where are you going that's like really affordable groceries that you actually find like it's clean enough and decent enough that you can go there on a regular basis and you actually like it? Because I don't know how these chains think they're going to survive, but they've gone nuts with how much they're charging people.
In most countries, getting sick is unfortunate. In America, getting sick is dangerous, not just for your health, but for your wallet. Here, healthcare isn't just expensive, it's shockingly expensive. An ambulance ride can cost more than a month's rent. A quick ER visit can leave you with a bill that looks like a down payment on a car. A simple prescription can drain your paycheck if your insurance doesn't cover it. And speaking of insurance, even people with good insurance are drowning under high premiums, high deductibles, high copays, surprise bills, endless fees. People are paying hundreds, sometimes thousands, every month, and still feel like they're one accident away from financial ruin. This is why so many Americans are making impossible choices. Skipping doctor visits, delaying surgeries, avoiding medication, self-treating at home. Staying sick because they can't afford to get better. Medical debt in the US has become its own crisis. Millions are paying off bills for years. Some never finish paying them off at all, and it's not because Americans are unhealthy, it's because healthcare is treated like a business instead of a basic human need. In a country this wealthy, it shouldn't cost your entire savings just to survive an unexpected illness. But that's exactly what's happening, and when healthcare becomes unaffordable, every other part of life becomes unstable too. Prices are rising everywhere: food, rent, gas, healthcare. But there is one thing that isn't rising at the same speed: wages. And this is the core of the entire crisis. For decades, the cost of living has climbed higher and higher, while wages barely inched forward. You're doing more work, more tasks, more hours, yet somehow earning less value than people did 20 years ago. Think about it. Groceries went up, housing went up, utilities went up, childcare went up, medical bills went up, but your paycheck? It might have gone up a little, but nowhere near enough to even touch these rises. People are working full-time jobs and still living paycheck to paycheck. College graduates are stuck in entry-level wages. Workers with years of experience aren't getting raises. And side hustles have become a survival tool, not a choice. Here's the reality. The cost of living doubled. Wages did not. That's why millions feel trapped. You're not doing anything wrong. The system simply didn't grow with you. This wage gap is why. People can't save, people can't buy homes, people can't start families, people can't escape debt, people can't build a future. And it's not laziness, it's not bad planning, it's simple math. And the math doesn't work. A stable life used to come from one job. Now people are juggling 2 or even 3, not to get ahead, but just to keep their head above the water. This is why the cost of living crisis feels so crushing. Your income stayed the same while everything else around you skyrocketed. Behind every statistic, every chart, and every news headline, there's a real person trying to survive in a country where survival costs more than ever. For millions of Americans, daily life feels like a constant balancing act. A quiet battle nobody sees. People are budgeting down to the last few dollars, they're stretching groceries, sharing rooms, taking buses instead of cars, delaying bills, and hoping nothing unexpected happens this month. Because one unexpected bill, one medical emergency, one rental increase, one broken car, one missed paycheck can send someone from that barely managing to completely drowning. Parents are cutting their own meals so their kids can eat. Young adults are putting life on hold because they can't afford independence. Retirees are returning to work because their savings can't keep up with inflation, and millions just fall deeper into debt, watching interest pile up faster than they can pay. This constant financial pressure doesn't just break budgets, it breaks people emotionally. It leads to anxiety, stress, exhaustion, depression, burnout. Because it's not normal to worry every day about whether you can afford food, rent, healthcare, or gas. It's not normal to work full-time and still feel like you're failing. It's not normal to be punished financially for things outside your control. But in America today, that has become the reality. People feel trapped. People feel unheard. People feel like they're doing everything right and getting nowhere. And when millions of people feel that way at the same time, it's not a personal problem, it's a national crisis. The cost of living in America isn't just a money problem, it's a life problem. When people can't afford food, housing, or healthcare, everything else collapses with it. And that's where America is today, a country where working full-time doesn't guarantee stability. A country where getting sick can destroy your savings, a country where rent rises faster than paychecks. A country where families are making sacrifices no one should ever have to make. This crisis didn't happen overnight, it built up slowly, through rising corporate prices, shrinking wages, weak protections, and a system that stopped prioritizing the average person. But here's the truth, people aren't asking for luxury. People aren't asking for handouts. People just want a life where they don't have to panic every time a bill arrives. And if the richest nation in the world can't provide that, then something is deeply wrong. Millions of Americans are dealing with the same crisis, the same pressure, the same exhaustion. You're not alone, and you're not imagining it. And the more we talk about it, the more people understand what's really happening. The harder it becomes for anyone to ignore. So if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to follow for more videos diving into food prices, rent, homelessness, wages, healthcare, and the real cost of living in America today